Hey everyone, this is Rob,
And Michelle.
and welcome to Bunebape, your weekly podcast and everything you need to know about old school RuneScape.
Meep.
All
Merp.
right, so this week up on the Sprocket, of course, as always, we're going to be starting off with what we have been up to this week, gaming and otherwise related. Also, we'll be going into this week's update right after that, which is actually kind of cool. And then we'll be talking about probably, in my opinion, the main thing that I wanted to talk about this week, which is going to be the skilling rebalance, project rebalance skilling update, redux again, yet again, double, triple time.
Some feedback updates.
And then we'll talk about the greatest event of all time, Runefest, and how we will not have tickets for it. And a lot of people won't.
We have thoughts.
Yeah.
Especially
So,
Robert has a lot of thoughts.
well, I mean, everyone should. But anyways, we'll be going over that and then finishing off with our Q&A as per usual, going over any questions related to the game or anything else really. And if you want to participate in the Q&A, feel free to do so by asking us questions anywhere, whether it's on Spotify, YouTube, Twitch, whatever. But we do have a discord.gg/boonbape, and that's going to be the best place. We have a questions section, and you can ask there.
Yeah.
But before we get into all that fun stuff, Michelle, how's it going?
It's going pretty well. I got a single level this week. I got to 94 Hunter, which
Wow,
I did via Hunter Rumors. Sorry.
big.
Big.
Big,
Yeah, I'm
big.
so glad I paused for you to
Yeah.
contribute that.
Almost 99.
I mean, I guess almost.
Probably tomorrow.
So I was mostly doing Hunter Rumors and Varlamore, but now I've actually been sitting a lot of Coliseum attempts. So my Coliseum PB is only halfway through Wave 6. I don't necessarily know if I'm going to grind it to the quiver, because a lot of people also, like, last night came by and were like, oh, this is so much harder than Inferno and stuff like that. But in my opinion, the fact that it's only 12 waves makes it, like, much more approachable, because, I mean, I don't want to go do 69 waves at Inferno. Like, I don't. I
Yeah.
could get the 6 waves done. I could get there in like 20 minutes. I'm really slow trying to learn Inferno, so I can't get to where I'm stuck in 20 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it can. I mean, to put it like simply, you're not going to accidentally spend 4 hours on Coliseum, whereas
In a single attempt.
that's not impossible on Inferno.
Yeah, no. So I'm able to spin a lot of attempts. I'm actually trying to understand what's going on. Sometimes I try to do like brute force attempts and just sending as far as I can, but in general, like I'm trying not to drink all my brews and stuff and like do things correctly and try to like actually solve the waves, which means I'm dying a lot because I am, not healing because I'm just trying to do it correctly. But it's been a lot of fun practicing actually. I'm surprised that I'm having so much fun with it, but I've done it. I think I've done attempts like every single night now.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
It's cool because you can watch people like Kirby. I mean, they did it in less than a million GP worth of gear. Well, I think it was a million.
I didn't click it, but I think I saw No Monkey or someone put out a video being like killing or completing Coliseum with only my fist or something like that.
Yeah.
People are getting creative with it already. It's kind of fun to see.
Yeah, no, they definitely are. Well, I think I saw someone was able to do it with like, it keeps getting like lower and lower. And then I think I saw one where it's like a mil or less in gear and they're all like, don't do this, just save up for 5 mil worth of gear. But
They do it just because it's content.
yeah, I wasn't sure if it was Kirby. Kirby did put out a video where I think they might have done it in like Barrow's tier gear or maybe the gear from the Perilous Moons or something like that.
Yeah.
And that was
It
pretty
takes forever.
that was pretty successful. I think the person that did it in a million was kind of like, just don't do this. It's like not really worth it.
Yeah, people are just doing it for videos because, it's very clickable. It's not ideal
Yeah, and also there's not a ton to do in this game. So when new stuff,
to do in this game.
okay, the game is extremely old. So when experienced players have new stuff to do, they'll just do it as much as possible, as crazy as possible, because there's not much else for them to do sometimes.
I don't know if that's why, but yes, they do.
Yeah.
We also, speaking of Perilous Moons, we did that on Friday for the boss bash, and I got like 3 collection log slots. It was so cool. So there's these like guys that you can kill on the way to the treasure room. I don't remember what they're called. They're called sulfur something. They have a 1 out of 500 drop, which is like the sulfur blades, which is the 2-handed one. And I got it on my 5th KC.
Yeah, it's actually so the 1 out of 500 is wrong. It's 1 out of 5.
Oh my God, I thought you were being serious. And I was like, I wasn't even spooned.
Yeah, you weren't even spooned.
So someone told me before, like they're like, yeah, every time I run to the chest, I kill one of them. So then I'll get the drop eventually. And I was like, oh, true. And I just killed two of them on the way because why not? And I got it. And I was like, oh, now I never have to kill these again.
Never have to kill him again. There you
I
go.
mean, I don't really need to.
Yeah, it's just collections.
Yeah, and I got a couple of collection slots, and it was a lot of fun. We're continuing. So, spoiler alert, Robert, I think, kind of already said we did not get tickets to Runefest, but if you remember, Runefest is a baby festival inside of a big festival. So I'm still fundraising money to go to the big festival, I guess. And then if that sells out, I'm just gonna fundraise to meet up with friends there because I do still have a lot of friends going.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so the fundraising continues. On this week's boss competition, we're going to be doing what is it? Tombs of a Mascot, which hopefully I could actually make some money because I have been spending a lot of money on deaths and supplies at Coliseum as well as Scurrius. I've still been going to Scurrius. I spent 10 million runes today to go back to Scurrius.
I have some stuff in the community highlights this week that might help you.
At Scurrius?
No, at
Oh.
paying for your deaths.
Oh, okay. Oh, actually, okay, never mind. So yeah, I'm going to be doing the Tombs of Mascot competition. If you guys haven't done it before, every Friday I'm doing fundraising for the Runefest. And we do a boss competition. Whoever makes the most money at TOA is going to get a free bond or the value of a bond. And I'm going to be doing a cosplay as a forestry dryad this week, which I'm excited for. It's green though. I need to figure out how people blur their backgrounds when they're live. I don't really know how that works, or if I'll just have the background. We'll see. But Robert really likes the cosplay. He said it's one of his favorites, so I'm excited about it.
Which one is it?
The forestry one, the one that has like like the top on it, the swimsuit cover that's on top of the outfit with the flower.
The forest.
writing.
Oh, okay, okay. You said forestry, and I was thinking like
No, yeah,
lumberjacks. Okay.
which would be a good one too. I've
Yeah.
thought about doing the freaky forester sometime. So I
Yeah,
just
but I
get
mean
that
that's like so similar to the farmer Jane. So
No, I'm thinking freaky forester with the what's it called? It's like the Germany outfit.
oh, later hosen.
Yeah, later I could do that and get the little hat with the feather in it or whatever he has.
Yeah.
That'd be a funny one sometime. I also was able to get supplies for a Shura cosplay, so I'm gonna do that in a couple weeks. I'm really excited about it.
That's cool.
I'm having a lot of fun with cosplays. It's really cool. So stop by the stream Friday nights, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard, or it's Saturday, 4 a.m. if you're UTC, and that's when I do all my fun stuff.
4 a.m. Log in, dude.
Logan. But I think that's about all I've been up to. The job that I was talking about last week, I got rejected. It's fine. It's fine. We don't care. We don't need money.
Yeah.
We just need to sit here. Oh, and
Okay.
we made a video today for the Easter event.
Yeah, there you go.
It was
So if anyone's
like a
interested
2-song
on how
video.
to do it, because it's a very difficult event.
It's not difficult, but it was actually more effort than expected. Like I recorded it yesterday and I was like, I don't even think I'm gonna make this a video because like I didn't feel like adding audio in because it was actually you had to put effort in. But I ended up making it, so check it out. But yeah, how are you?
Pretty good. I have been preparing, not super rigorously, but nonetheless, I still have been preparing most of the week in order to play Path of Exile tomorrow. The new league comes out. Necropolis is the name of the league.
Yeah, we're recording all of this on Thursday. We only did the 1-day recording.
Yeah, I'm gonna be for anyone that does play Path of Exile. Not many. I was choosing between Bone Shatter, Juggernaut, but I decided not to go with that and ended up going with a build that I only saw recently. It's only been a build for like 2 leagues, but it kind of caught my eye because it seemed kind of interesting. Like the way everything interacts seemed interesting.
You never do the same builds twice, do you?
Yeah, from time to time. It definitely won't, like, I usually won't, like, league start the same build over and over again.
Yeah.
Which is actually really common. It's really common to, like, start the league with the same exact build you did last league because they tend to be similar in power throughout the leagues. And so you can just, I think some people have played Bone Shatter, for example, like 10 leagues in a row.
Jeez.
That'll just be their starter and then they'll
It's
build
their
up.
go-to.
They'll build up money and then they'll go to a different build.
Yeah.
But no, I'm going to be playing the Obama build.
Yeah, you were telling me about this earlier. To explain the Obama build.
So it's not.
Sounds strange.
There is no O in Obama, but
It's just more fun.
it's one letter away. So most people, or not most people, some people, think it's funny, so they call it Obama. But really, it's just Bama, which is
Alabama.
blink arrow, mirror arrow. And so if you put BAMA next to each other, it's Bama, Bama, Obama. There you go. That's the stretch.
I didn't know you were doing the Obama build for sure.
Yeah, I decided to, and essentially it's kind of like a summoner build where you just are summoning clones of yourself using these different skills. You use Blink Arrow of Bombarding and Mirror Arrow of Bombarding, and just whenever you use them, it spawns a clone of you in your last position,
Oh, that's kind of
and
cool.
that clone will then be your main damage source.
It's like you have a thrall, but your thrall is yourself.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, it's just a copy of yourself. But that's going to be the build that I'm going for this league, and primarily what I've been focusing on this week at work, even since it's been a little slow. But that is it. I
Did you
do.
play other games this week?
I played a little bit of Deep Rock Survivors, a little bit of Helldivers as well. Helldivers got a new update. There's a now a laser cannon in the game, as well as an automatic grenade launcher, essentially, which is kind
Freaking
of cool.
laser beams.
But yeah, that's it for video games for me.
Oh, I forgot to say, I also have started a Stardew Valley farm with Fem and Megan, and
You passed out like a loser.
I don't know how they are able to do. They both have a lot of time in Stardew. I don't know how they're able to do stuff. Like I join, wake up in the morning, I catch a single fish, I just try to talk to people, and then before I know it, my character's about to pass out, and they're like, Megan's like buying us chickens and stuff, and Fem's like, "Oh, I got us a skull sword," and I'm like, I don't even think we're playing the same game right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, the first night I passed out because I got lost on the map, and they were both tucked in a bed, and I was just trying to find my way home, and I found my way, and I was right in front of my door, and my character was like, "Ooh," and I passed out.
Yeah, for anyone that doesn't know, in Stardew Valley,
You
it's
get
not like
tired,
Animal Crossing, and you actually have to abide by the day's rules, and your character does get tired as it gets later.
and it feels like the day's only 5 minutes long. I don't know how they do so much,
Yeah, I mean, you'll get used to it.
but they're gonna be done with the game by the time I get used to it.
Well, oh well.
But
Maybe
anyway,
next time.
we're all calling dibs on who we're gonna marry and stuff. Fem's already called Haley.
Oh, okay. But something more important I have to go over is community highlights for this week. So,
What
starting
about these?
off with the Perilous Moons, I thought it was kind of funny. There's some trivia. Within the first 36 hours of release, players had reclaimed a total of 8 billion GP worth of items from their grave.
Dang. I died there.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
everyone
lie.
did.
Yeah. I died during the quest, and I definitely died during the boss competition too.
Yeah, so
I'm not a hardcore, you know. If I'm about to die, we're seeing which one of us dies first. I'm not leaving.
okay.
I refuse.
Also, continuing on, there was a 3 hour downtime. A lot of people were upset about this. I think people already know my stance about it. Kind of just like get over it. But I don't know.
I was asleep. I mean, downtime's just a part of any game that gets updated frequently.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
at least it's not like that one time, the day whenever I think it's the day that we went to the Netherlands, whenever it was down for like 24 hours. Do you
Um,
remember?
yeah, yeah, I do
At
remember.
least it's not that. It could be worse. Everything should be compared to that day.
Yeah, and also this is really common. So anyone that still isn't used to downtime, this is really common for a lot of online video games or live service games. So I guess just get used to it.
I will say it seems like we've had more server maintenance than normal lately, or
Yeah,
I've been more aware of it lately at least.
yeah, it's definitely unfortunate for people that live in the UK because it's prime time for them. So
Yeah, for me, it's like when I'm already asleep in my REM cycle.
yeah. Besides that, though, for anyone wondering about the poll from last week about MTA, everything passed.
Unsurprising.
A lot of people were wondering what's wrong with the 5% of people that said no. No one knows.
It's just people, it's the crab mentality. They've already done it and they suffered and they think no one else should have it even slightly better.
Yeah. Along with stuff we'll be talking about in just a minute, Mod Mark
Oh,
did
yeah.
say that for anyone wondering, Runefest tickets were sold out almost immediately, presumably to a not all obviously, but a decent amount of scalpers. So if anyone is advertising that they are selling tickets, they will be banned, and well,
Mod Mark will kill you.
they will be sought out after by Mod Mark and banned swiftly. The entire account with all of the tickets bought for it.
You know, I'm like a full-on tattler. I like posted something about not going to Runefest, and I didn't realize till today that someone replied being like, "Oh, I'm selling tickets," and I replied to them just like adding Mod Mark only.
Yeah.
I just straight up told on them. I don't care.
Yep. And also, like I said, people have been posting throughout the week on like guides or how they've been able to kill Coliseum. And so, even this person that's a GIM account, no chambers, prayers, and using Moon's gear, which is, fairly low level, they were able to do it. fairly successfully. So, and they have videos and stuff like that. So if you're struggling, then maybe you can see how people do it with worse gear.
Honestly, it's really fun practicing. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna keep going till I grind it, but I'm having so much fun even just doing like the 6 waves over and over again. I think the Manicore especially is a really fun boss.
Yeah. Also, one big nerf that I wanted to like kind of highlight this week because I know a lot of people either didn't know about this or like missed it, and it's kind of a big deal, is the ZCB, the Zerite crossbow.
Yeah.
Apparently had a nerf since its release, essentially, that made it so the 10% additional proc chance from the achievement diary worked twice as good.
I didn't know there was a diary thing.
You didn't know the diary?
I've never owned a ZCB.
No, that's just a diary.
What?
Yeah, from the I think it's like the provinces.
I don't remember.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, there is a diary from this. I think it's the same area from the Zolra area,
Western provinces.
Western
Yeah.
provinces. I think yeah, the elite is I think what it is. It's either the hard or it's either yeah the hard or the elite. Gives you 10% additional on top of whatever the base chance is,
Oh.
and this was
Okay.
giving you twice as much, so 20%.
Jeez.
It's been nerfed now, or properly fixed, so now it's only 10%. But that's been in the game since 2021, so quite some
I
time.
wonder if that's gonna make the price go down.
It's still a
At least,
really good spec weapon.
yeah.
Um, Also, I guess we will be talking about this soon, but I kind of wanted to bring it up because it's like kind of weird.
Okay.
But apparently, the meta for Coliseum right now, there's only two reasons people run Coliseum, is to make it as far as they can and farm the gear that they can, or run
Quiver.
wave one over and over
That's a
again.
money maker.
It is actually an incredibly strong moneymaker.
Suppose people were making like 7 mil an hour just running wave one over and over.
Yeah, I even have a screenshot of someone that, I mean, they actually have a, like a loot filter that, or a loot thing that shows how many shards they got. And they're like, yeah, I've been doing this for 5 days to fund my like crystal outfit, and they made 160 mil just doing
Jeez.
it for like week one.
Yeah. To be clear, I don't think it's 7 mil an hour right now. I think that was at its peak. But
I still think it's 5 to 6.
no, I think it's a good moneymaker. I
Yeah.
wonder, you must be doing it pretty quick. It's fun.
What they
Like, I've
still,
gone a wave down one so quick, which sounds like lame to say, but the first day, like, I died to wave one because I didn't know anything. So now I
yeah.
feel cool on it.
Well, a lot of people like you could if you strategize for it. People are saying you can just put on whatever gear and then walk in there with dins and pretty much kill almost the whole wave and then kill the other mobs, and it takes like 20 seconds.
Yeah, that's so
So
cool.
yeah, unfortunate, but that is currently the meta. So I guess make your money while you can because they haven't changed it yet.
I don't even know what they could change
Yeah.
because they would just ruin it for people who are actually doing it.
And the thing I wanted to bring up about Death's Coffer that could help you as well as other people is this happens every time there's new content. So don't think this won't happen again next time new content comes out, because this will, and you can save a lot of money doing this. So, for instance, the glaive of Ralos, I'm not going to pretend to say the name.
Pretty good.
No, it's called the Tunnels Dick Tunnels Ticks of Ralos is how
Never
the
mind.
actual name of it
It
goes.
did sound good.
Anyways, you can sell that to Death's Coffer for 80 mil over, or at this time, 80 mil over what its GE price is, for a total of 170 mil.
Yeah, this happens every time there's new content. Death does not know how much stuff costs.
Yeah. Even if you're a main, you can just buy one of these and put that in your coffer and save yourself 70 or 80 mil.
Yeah.
So,
Unless you're one of those people who's like, I never die though.
yeah. It's also kind of a useless item, so you might want to do that anyways.
Fair. Saucy but fair.
Yeah, unfortunate, but yeah, that's the way it is. And lastly, today is the final day we say goodbye for real to the RuneScape forums.
Oh, it's today?
Today was the final day of reckoning for the RuneScape forums.
23 years almost.
23 years, nearly. Not really. I mean, we're like
22 and a half.
8 months off, but
I
still.
saw that the year was 2001 and I didn't look out how it's November.
Yeah. So
Wow.
definitely been a unfortunate year for forums. That being said, I still feel like they could have made it work if they just made it more part of the game. But they don't even post their like patch notes there. Like most companies, they have like a separate blog for that.
I
So
still think they should just archived it and not deleted everything.
yeah,
Dude, deleting RuneScape history.
yeah, it was definitely unfortunate, and a lot of games still use forums. Like every live service game I know of has forums, so
Yeah,
it was weird for them to get rid of it. But
whatever.
nonetheless, that is done. So I think that's generally it
Community.
for the community stuff. But the rest of it I will bring up probably later. Some of it is like stuff that people have suggested or questions, stuff that I thought was interesting. So I will return to this, but I think that's enough for community highlights.
Yeah, and we could just get right into the extraordinarily good Easter quest. I
Yeah,
practiced in my head
that
the entire
was
time I was finishing that sentence. I was thinking, like, come on, egg, egg, egg.
yeah. So if you want some excellent rewards, maybe you could participate in
Eggs.
this. That's what I said.
You didn't emphasize it enough for me.
Well, you say egg like egg, so that's kind of weird.
Ew.
So yeah, Easter 2024, and you did the event.
I did the event. It was really cute. Um, it's weirdly religious.
Well, the holiday is so.
No, but it's funny. I wonder if religious people would get upset about, like, if you're very religious. I'm sure most people wouldn't care because they do. They have people worshiping eggs. I could definitely see like very religious people being upset about that.
Well, very religious people get upset about a lot of things. So
That's real, yeah. It was a cute little quest. So you're gonna go and talk to the Easter Bunny south of the Grand Exchange, and he's lost some eggs and needs help finding them. Spoiler: a bunch of weird priests who worship eggs stole them. Silly antics ensue. This one actually has you doing like a couple things during the quest. It's not just dialogue only, which, I mean, to be fair, most of them aren't dialogue only, but it felt like extra. You don't have to bring anything with you. You can go and get everything during the quest. It was a cute one. The rewards, spoiler alert here, the rewards are like these little robes that are yellow. It's the same robes as the egg worshippers, and I think it's cute because yellow is my favorite color. So I was like, I could use this for Fashionscape.
yeah,
But you get like a book of the egg, which is their holy book, and like a necklace with an egg on it, which I think is supposed to be like a Jesus Christ necklace. Wait, that's what are they called?
crosses.
Crosses.
That's
Uh,
weird.
A Jesus Christ necklace.
Yeah, that's really weird. Most crosses don't have Jesus on it.
But it's supposed to be like Jesus's.
Sure, whatever.
Anyway, you get a necklace. It's that, but it's an egg instead.
I was just thinking it'd be so funny if someone made a meme like, he sacrificed for us, and instead of Jesus up there, it's the King of Alabasta.
Oh my gosh, stop.
For anyone that
Dude.
isn't familiar, in One Piece, a person literally gets like crucified, so
He gets saved though.
he doesn't die
But we were watching it and I was like,
miraculously.
this is really intense.
Yeah.
But yeah, go talk to the Easter Bunny. Go get your little goodies and
Okay.
enjoy the quest.
To give people a little more context, because you were definitely not as thorough
Okay.
as I thought you'd
You're
be.
gonna read this, and there's really not much.
Well,
Go for it.
one, it's in Varrock,
You
so
said that.
I mean, you must have glazed over.
I said south of the GE.
South of the GE. Some people don't know where the GE is. Yeah,
I'm talking
yeah.
to
Some people.
them.
So you're above them now.
Just go watch my video. I show where it is.
Anyways, it seems chocolate eggs are in short supply this Easter, and the people of Varrock are not happy bunnies about it. So there's an investigation.
My explanation was fine. You just want to see all the egg puns.
A rather scrambled Easter bunny
Come on, man.
has set up shop just outside the Grand Exchange in Varrock, so head on over to help him crack the case on the missing chalkies.
You just like crack the case because you crack an egg.
As always, you'll be rewarded with your efforts with a selection of seasonal goodies, including some rather smashing Fashionscape and, of course, some Easter eggs. We hope you're egg-cited.
I literally said more detail than you. I just didn't have puns.
Mine was cooler, though.
Oh my god. You
Uh,
never read word for word, and the one time I don't, you're like, we need to read word for word here.
Yeah. Speaking of really cool stuff, they do have a pretty cool infographic moving into the next section for Varlamore Part 1 feedback changes. So these are just some very, very slight changes after the opening week of Varlamore.
Yeah, but first we have some fun stats that came out.
Yes.
So some Hunter Guild things. 2.3 million rumors have been completed. The guild hunter Kiko the cat has been pet 290,000 times.
What a good cat.
Isn't he cute? And you have to fix
I
his
love that
bed.
he's a loaf.
You have to fix his bed, and you have to like distract him with a little toy, and he's just like, I don't appreciate your tricks, but my bed is very cozy or something like that.
And
And
pretzels.
yeah, 2,050 Quetzal pets have been obtained. While you read the next ones, I'm actually gonna pull up a picture. If you guys don't follow Beat Flakes on Twitter, she's an artist, and she posted a Quetzal pretzel picture.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So also they go over some death spent on, or gold spent on death reclaims rather. So in the Coliseum, we spent over 155 billion GP getting back your gear from failing, and also over 11 billion GP in Perilous Moons, kind of like I mentioned
Oh my
earlier.
God.
And we have the Quetzal Pretzel.
It's really cute.
For anyone that isn't in the US, I doubt you have these, but this is just a funny
You
take
can't see
on
anything on my
Quetzal Pretzel, which is like a just pretzel stand that sells pretzels and lemonade.
It's the reason why we've been saying Quetzal
Pretzel.
pretzel the entire time. It sounds just like it.
It does. Well, I mean, regardless, Quetzal does sound like pretzel.
Yeah.
Also, we have the Fortis Coliseum. Apparently, Soul Heredit, Hereditary.
I've been saying Heredit.
Who knows? The kill count is just under 6,000 at 5763, and a total of over 5 million waves have been completed.
Wow. For house robbery, there have been 33,000 times that someone was caught mid-robbery. 178 Rocky pets have been obtained.
Such a good pet.
I'm so
like his tail.
jealous that you got that.
I like his little stance.
You got it like 5 minutes into leagues, right?
Okay, 5 minutes into
It
leagues.
was an hour and 5 minutes.
I was several hours. I did all of the the garden things.
Made up.
Way more than you.
So quick. Anyway,
I did, but
you did.
Yeah.
And 1.6 billion gold has been earned via the house robberies, which I still haven't tried.
Pretty cool.
But yeah, we could just get right into the hot fixes.
Yeah, very, very minimal fixes for Fortis Coliseum. Just a small fix to the description of Doom, which is one of the negative affixes you can get, which correctly states that any damage taken will affect you and not just the damage taken off prayer.
From what I've heard, don't choose Doom. It will end your run normally.
Yeah.
I'm sure that all the crazy gamers are doing it specifically.
It's called Doom, so...
There's also a Doom Scorpion that people say is a run ender.
You're a Doom
The Scorpion follows you around.
All right.
Moving on to the Hunters Guild. So, excellent news for confused hunters this week. They don't say egg, I just wanted to.
It's not even chicken related. Come on.
We've tweaked the names of loot sacks to indicate which tier of hunter rumors they came from. For those of you who prefer a little variety, we've added a toggle which prevents you receiving the same hunter's rumor back to back.
This is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, it's toggled on by default, but you can change it by using the new rumor setting option on the guild scribe verity. Outside the guild, sunlight and moonlight antelopes will now respawn much faster, and we switched up the scenery to stop them getting stuck on bushes and the like, which was happening to me a lot. Additionally, your collection log will now update correctly when receiving sunflower splinters from these springy creatures. Finally, the world map should look a bit more aesthetically pleasing in the new area around the moonlight antelopes. Pyre foxes have had a look over too, and we've shifted the... I almost said the S word.
The S word.
We've shifted the traps in the north and east of the area to face where the foxes like to hang out. Not only that, but we've also added more foxes to the area. They've also made a small fix to the red chinchompa rumor, which before used to tell you to bring back a claw when you're actually bringing back fur. And they've improved the overall look of various pitfall creatures, so you have a better time removing them from the area. You know, with the chinchompa claw, I actually noticed that, like, the day that it came out or whatever, because I kept going and, like, trying to get the claw, and, like, I was just like, bro, I don't even understand. They don't even really have nails. Like, what am I going to be getting here? And they got the fur, and I was like, is this it?
Now you should know, hopefully.
Now you should know. You don't get a chinchompa claw.
Some updates for Perilous Moons. They did adjust the bosses a little bit. So Eclipse boss now has slightly higher defense. Blue Moon builds cold twice as fast. The Blue Moon also heals more consistently during the tornado phase. Blood Moon, this is actually exactly what I complained about the very first week.
Yeah.
Or other people complained about, and I reiterated, is the Blood Moon boss healing during its third attack specifically, which is much higher, has been reduced. And to counteract that, the healing from the Jaguars has been increased slightly. So it should be a little bit smoother between the few of the bosses.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the fishing activity now interrupts repeatable actions like fletching, because I saw people trying to do very efficient fletching fishing. So now you have to remain focused on the task at hand.
Okay.
Also, they've made it clear that fishing guarantees one fish, although you can obtain two with a successful skill check. Some PvPers are making use of the Eclipse Atlatl with great results, and to make things a little bit fairer and prevent lower brackets being dominated by the Obsidian Maul, we've rebalanced the required stats to 50 attack and 50 strength. So, unfortunate for you guys. Now, last but not least, we've fixed a bug where players were persistently warned of the dangers of the Perilous Moons dungeon, even if they didn't want the warnings anymore. But obviously, you just check the box and it should go away permanently now.
Yeah, they even said, don't worry, you weren't forgetting to check the box. Because honestly, that was happening to me. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I did. And I just kept clicking it over and over again.
Yeah.
Some miscellaneous changes corrected the blocking of one tile on Raylos's Rise. Players world hopping while thieving the bazaar will now be able to do so faster. Fix an issue where a medium anagram clue behaved like a challenge scroll instead of a clue scroll. More trees across the avium savanna should now be choppable. Increase the buy limit of atlatl darts at the Grand Exchange. And the master clue that requires players to perform the Fortis salute with the Blue Moon set equipped now requires a regular salute instead, because that was an insane request.
Yeah, that's actually really good, because not only did that require you to complete the entire Colosseum, but I've even seen, I don't even know if it's a bug, but I have seen people complete the Colosseum and not gain access to the Fortis salute because they didn't get enough points.
I was going to say it's a glory based thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of tricky.
And glory you earn separately from how far you make it into the actual Colosseum.
It's kind of confusing because I've definitely like died earlier, but like I keep dying at wave 6, you know? But I'll die with only killing like one mob in part 6 instead of several. But I'll beat my PB because I chose harder invos that time, so my glory's higher.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
Someone did make kind of like a guide or their opinions on glory and how to acquire it, because they had the current record, which was 40,000, and they didn't even finish the boss during that run.
My gosh. They were just choosing all the hard ones.
Yeah, a lot of them were choosing the hard ones. A lot of it is, they even got it down to how much glory it costs per extra tick you spend fighting. So
just stay longer.
It is time based. No, staying longer is worse. It costs you 50 ticks or 10 glory per tick. So 40 per weapon swing, or 50 if it's a slower weapon.
I didn't know that it counted like based on that.
Yeah, so completing things fast and on more difficult will give you more glory. So there's a lot of weird things that go into it.
It's really interesting.
Yep.
Some more things about Varlamore, though, that they wanted to wait for more long-term feedback or further discussions on. So for Colosseum, Doom modifiers in Colosseum, they want to see how players feel about Doom once they've gotten more comfortable with the waves and aren't looking to make adjustments for the time being. And they're also exploring whether or not they can add some NPCs to cheer you on or actively root against you from the Colosseum stands. We need to make sure this won't have any negative impacts on performance before committing to anything, especially in a challenge like the Colosseum. Performance comes first.
Yeah.
I think that'd be so cute to have little NPCs, as long as, you know, they're not like, you kind of have to look for them, you know, like they're not super distracting.
Some people were saying it'd be cool if you could like watch other people, but obviously that's impossible.
Well, it'd be like top.
Obviously impossible. So other changes to the Hunter Guild. We saw some feedback regarding checking your current rumor before you unlocked your Quetzal Whistle, and using the handy rumor option to check what you're supposed to be hunting. For the time being, we'd encourage you to read the rumor carefully before racing off. Yeah, I don't think they need to add this, but make sure to pay a visit to Sword Leader Petrie after your 10th rumor to unlock the basic Quetzal Whistle, which will solve this.
No, I needed this. I have very bad memory. I was Googling every one of my first 9 quests to make sure I remembered.
Ridiculous. Yeah, honestly, this just seems like a little too catery for me. Just read the thing. It's not like you're there for like 50 hours. It doesn't take that long. Just read it and then go do it.
Have bad memory, just don't understand.
I mean, you can even write it down as a note on RuneLight if you really need to.
I know, I was Googling it to remember.
Googling it. All right. Also, we'd like to take a pass over existing hunter methods to improve them for players. This is outside the specific scope of the team working on Varlamore and is likely to make an appearance on a future QOL poll later in 2050.
Oh my god, my face, because I was like, it's in 2050?
Yeah. Also, we'll be reviewing XP and loot from rumors over time, but aren't looking to make any adjustments at the moment. Recent hotfixes to improve the drop rate of the relevant rumor items should also buff both of these indirectly, and we might also achieve this via increasing rewards at regular milestones. They finish off by saying we've seen some players asking to be able to set up multiple deadfall traps at once. We're conscious that this might contribute to the current overcrowding, specifically at Pyrofoxes, and would also need to consider whether it might impact HP or XP per hour in unintended ways, so we're holding off for now.
Yeah, but we did get those other changes this week about like having the rocks face different ways and stuff.
Yeah, so essentially all this stuff is just saying like they kind of want to wait because they don't want to make decisions too quickly.
More things we're going to wait on: Perilous Moons. We've seen calls from players asking for a pet, including me tweeting at Modash, to be added as a reward from the Lunar Chest. We'll review this again down the line. This requires further discussion about making mid-level content more appealing for in-game players, which might in turn make the content's reward output weaker for its target audience. We're not outright opposed, but want to keep an eye on the moons for a while longer before making any changes. We'll be keeping an eye on the power level of Blood Rager, Blood Moon, and Eclipse sets in both PvM and PvP scenarios. Their set effects and special attacks will take some time for players to get to grips with, and we want more complete information before deciding whether or not we'd like to shift some numbers around so that they're sitting around where they're supposed to be in the gear progression meta.
All right. And then we have a little bit of random miscellaneous stuff that they felt like they needed added here. Some players are reporting that they can't bank blessed jugs of wine, suggesting that it's a bug. This is an intended part of the balance of the activity to prevent players stacking wines in mass and achieving higher XP rates than intended. So, yeah.
You're not supposed to.
Yeah, cry me a river. The condensing of jewelry, enchant spells, and addition of the Civitas Illifortis teleport spell has moved some spells around on the standard spellbook. Like we said, it moved some back, but it moved some others too far back. So a lot of people are really just calling for a way to move your spells. Kind of like
open to considering.
Yeah, kind of like how they used to have a long time ago before they banned the mod that did it.
Oh.
We mentioned in a blog released earlier this year that would be open to considering re-enabling spellbook reordering. Like I said, re-enabling because it exists for approved game clients. We'll be bringing those conversations forward, and we'll let you know when we feel like re-enabling these plugins.
I thought it was really funny because they don't say that they're considering it. They say they're open to considering it.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's such a sneaky way of being like, we're not even thinking about it right now.
Yeah.
Maybe.
They don't care.
But we have some other non-Varlamore changes this week. So they improved the accuracy of spells cast by Collodion and the other arena mages after a previous error made them less accurate than they should have been. Protect from Mage still provides protection from their spells.
Yeah, no problem.
The account guide and tutorial island no longer advises Jagex account users to link emails to their account, as they no longer need to do that because they have. If you have not unlocked the Bones to Peaches spell, it can now be hidden by the spellbook filter that hides spells you lack the requirements to cast.
Yeah, it just superseded it before.
Just lied to you. Players doing the Losar section of the DT2 can now recover lost quest items from Ketla. Change the sound effect on the Mage of Ardorva's head attack to something shorter. Shout out to Atticon. Is that how you say it? I've never really said it loud.
I don't know. I just saw
Atticon. Atticon and his Twitch chat for helping pick it out. I haven't heard it yet, but that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Fixed a bug where the 10% crossbow bolt effect proc chance buff from Sears Village Achievement Diaries.
Oh, Sears Village.
There. Okay, cool. Oh my god, I didn't even know that was a thing. That's so funny.
Yeah. It's actually pretty good. I'd recommend getting it if you plan on going to, like, I don't know, Vorkath for a long time, which is why I got it.
Now you're not going to be getting the extra 20%, though.
Well, I never had a ZCB, so...
Whatever.
Also, Zerker loadout. And we have the Easter merch. So if you are a fan of buying everything Jagex has ever put out, well, here's some more stuff to drop money on.
Cute. I like it.
It's literally only the Easter Bunny pin. There is no other Easter merch.
Yeah.
So...
But the pin is really cute.
Apparently they hate Easter. This is from Angelscape, though. Shout out to Angelscape.
Angelscape's very talented.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, that's honestly it for this week's update. Not honestly a lot. The only reason it was a little bit longer is because we combined stuff from their
original Varlamore blog.
Original Varlamore future feedback stuff.
One thing we didn't go over that I will say in the Varlamore blog is that they are considering changing how the max cape looks.
Yeah, because it looks
Most people don't
dumb.
like
It
it.
looks terrible in my opinion, and
Yeah.
it always has. I don't know why they went forward with it.
It's like a weird one shoulder thing
I
too.
don't I don't know
I don't
how
understand the one
anyone
shoulder.
could look at it and be like, "Oh, that's so cool."
It's not
What?
bad. But yeah, it was not great, that's
Yeah,
for sure.
definitely looks good if you're blind.
We actually are now going to move into the skilling blog first. Robert pulled up the Runefest. I think Runefest we're doing last.
No, I said it in that order.
Oh, never mind. We're gonna go with Runefest.
Yeah.
Runefest
So
is sold out.
yeah, RuneFest is sold out. Unfortunately, tickets are now available and now no longer available within the same second.
What a weird way of saying this.
Well, the name of the blog is tickets are now available.
Oh yeah, then you click it and it says it's sold out.
Yeah. So due to unprecedented and unexpected by who levels
There's
of
like
demand,
20,000 people that play this game. I don't know why.
20,000,
Someone told me like 23 active daily.
200,000 people voted on like two of the last polls.
And think of how many people want to go to the festival and are bringing like significant others that don't play the game or friends so they don't have to go alone. Like, why did you think 2,000 would be enough?
Yeah, so anyways, hundreds of thousands of people actively play this game every month and they only had 2,000, so, a percent of that available.
It's
So
nuts.
2,000 tickets were available and that's across OSRS and RS3.
Yeah, true.
So it's the most tickets we've ever sold. Okay, are you like a small indie company?
They've only
Like,
done it in like 5 years.
okay,
But
I
even then, we're still
mean, that
popular.
is crazy. Uh, so ridiculous that they didn't plan
Mhm.
for this.
They sold the early birds. There's 500 early birds. They sold them in about, I feel like someone told me like a minute. And they sold all the regular tickets in around 5 minutes. And I did the math, and with the prices, not like tax and stuff, it was about $420,000 worth of tickets.
Blaze it.
Yeah, but they can't just sell more tickets and get a big venue.
Yeah, no one knows.
Hopefully now they realize that they could make more money and just get their own venue and not have to have it hidden inside of another convention.
Yeah, so
Still weird.
anyways, for anyone that isn't super familiar, again, RuneFest is actually going to be a convention that is
Inside the convention.
taking place inside of another convention called Insomnia, so you
Hmm.
should be able to still buy attendance to Insomnia, but you will not be granted entry to RuneFest at all.
Yeah, it's strange. So if you go to Insomnia, yeah, you can still explore around everywhere. People who got Runefest tickets can still explore Insomnia, but we just can't go into this elusive corner of Insomnia apparently, which
Yeah.
whatever.
So,
So many people didn't get tickets that it almost doesn't matter because there's going to be so many people to just hang out with outside of Runefest that can't go in.
yeah, whatever you tell yourself.
I know a lot of people who
But
are.
please sign up, they say. So feel free to sign up for the mailing list, and they can give you notice if the capacity changes because they're looking for
They're begging
additional
Insomnia.
solutions.
They're begging Insomnia for more spots.
Yeah.
That's what it all comes down to.
But that is kind of the
Yeah.
update of this post. The actual meat of this post says that it's finally time and you can purchase your tickets. It's 175 for 2 days with an early bird of 150 for the first
That's in
500.
pounds, by the way,
Uh,
not dollars.
yeah. This is happening in Birmingham, UK, September 7th through the 8th in partnership with Insomnia Gaming Festival, like I mentioned. And they do have a little bit of a trailer for it, so feel free to check it out, even though you're not going to go. If you haven't been to the Runefest before, they have a list of things that you can expect to happen. Honestly, highlights for me are going to be meeting up with people such as the JMods creators, stuff like that. Obviously, this is like the one time where everyone will be in one spot besides like maybe TwitchCon or something like that. You can also, they do have like real world challenges, so that would be kind of cool. There's a little cosplay event, as well as LAN areas and LAN parties for anyone that wants a real life 99 party, so that's kind of cool. There's also exclusive RuneFest merch, of course.
Yeah. It is very exclusive because they didn't sell any tickets, so not that many people are going to see it.
Yeah. Also, they don't mention here, but it was funny that apparently whenever you were buying tickets, you could buy up to 10 per person. I don't know why that was allowed. That's not allowed anywhere else.
Yeah.
Most conventions only allow you to buy one ticket or maybe two if it's a very loose convention.
It sucks because, I mean, I don't know if they announced that anywhere because otherwise I would have asked one of my friends who was able to get tickets and been like, buy me a ticket and I'll pay you back.
Yeah.
But
Also,
I didn't even, to be fair though, I forgot that tickets were even going on sale that day. I
I was,
woke up and saw it was sold out.
I was about to say, speaking of not notifying you, not only did they barely notify us as far as like in general, like they didn't have a post saying this date, this time.
They said the date but midday and they told us a month before.
Yeah, they said the date midday, which it was exactly midday for the UK, which is 4 a.m. our time.
They didn't even specify that was at noon at first. Most of the stuff was on the Runefest Twitter, which I didn't even know that Runefest had its own Twitter until after it sold out.
Yeah.
The only post that I ended up seeing after that I would have seen was RuneScape quoted a tweet by Runefest saying 24 more hours. And I feel like that kind of thing, that kind of big event is you gotta do like Comic Con where they like count it down. They're like this many more days, this many more days.
Well,
So
they don't even count it down. They just tell you months in advance because that's how long it takes to prepare events normally, that it's happening at this time and you have to buy your tickets by this time or you will not be going.
Yeah, I think that they should have given more. I think that for the week like that it was being released, they should have been like making it more known, like reminder it's going to be in 7 days, 6 days, 5 days.
Yeah.
I think that would have been nice.
Personally, unless the person that set up and coordinated this event was the same person that is just like has like 9 other jobs at Jagex, assuming they have a real coordinator for this event, they are the worst at their job.
I don't think so. I mean, they've just probably never done it before. It's whatever.
Which is fine.
Stuff happens. They just need bigger teams.
You can be new at your job and still suck at it.
It's so funny because we literally were talking about this earlier, and I was like, "Oh, you're just gonna go and like trash on them." And I'm gonna be like, "You know what? Stuff happens. It's okay."
No, you're a company. I'm honestly, after this week, I'm honestly just kind of like tired of like pretending like this company deserves more leeway than they get. So
Okay, tell us your full thoughts on the 2,000 tickets, how they sold out. What is the harshest thing you need to say? Get it off your chest. Last night you were getting pretty harsh with it.
I mean, I wasn't. It was a terrible situation set up by a person that is clearly not suited to do their job. It's that simple. Like you didn't do a good job and you should feel bad about it. So there you go.
That makes me feel bad.
You didn't do a good job picking the place. You didn't do a good job announcing it. You didn't do a good job selling it. You didn't do a good job on any of the details leading up to it. So you should probably just be fired. There you go.
I want to defend whoever is so bad right now, but I won't. We
Yeah.
can just move on.
You can't because nothing I said was wrong. Anyways, speaking of more stuff that's really exciting, we have the Project Rebalance skilling update.
Yeah, we got a feedback blog, and good thing we didn't record yesterday because today it was updated again.
Yeah,
So
it's like they listened to my thoughts because, well, not my thoughts. Okay, I'm not an individual here. You know, everyone thought a lot of these were bad ideas.
But we don't even need to go over the bad ones. We could just go over the new version of it. And
We can.
you guys didn't even know that this happened. You didn't know that there was a version of it that existed yesterday.
Yeah, so they do say that this is a feedback update on our recent skilling-focused Project Rebalance blog, and due to limitations on our back end, we've had to re-upload this as a separate blog because it simply exceeds the character limit.
I like it when it's a separate blog, so then if we record over 2 days, I'm not confused about what we have and haven't read.
Yeah.
Personally.
Apologies for the delay between blogs. We've been all guns blazing on the Varlamore over the past week and didn't think it would be a great time to get this in front of you. But moving on, we have some feedback changes on today, March 28th.
Should we read that last and read the post first?
Not really. Just if this comes up again after this, feel free to discard it or I'll just skip over it. So they say, following your feedback since this blog went live, we made a small number of changes to the blog and the original linked above. It's clear that you weren't happy with us reducing the XP rates of the rooftop courses because, like,
You won't see, they reduced it quite a bit.
Yeah, like you won't see. They do originally. They were going to change the XP for the course Ardoin, for example, from the original 62,300 XP per hour to 70,000.
I think they were going to do a little bit more. I think that this is still nerfed.
No, I think this was
70?
I think this was the original one.
Okay.
And then they went back and were like, actually, we don't want it to be so much better than the next one.
It requires level 90 to get to.
Yeah. They didn't want the level 90 one to be so much better than the next one, which is Relica. So they changed it from 70,000 back down to only a 700 XP per hour increase to 63,000 total.
That was just upsetting to me because Relica is 80 agility, Ardoin is 90. Why would you not have better XP at one that's 10 full levels away?
Yeah, so
That was weird to
that's
me.
not the only
So
one.
that's not happening anymore. We're just venting about how it used to say that.
Yeah, that's not happening anymore, and that wasn't the only one that was getting nerfed. They actually walked back quite a few of the changes. So after a lot of people were like, "Why would you nerf it?" They also were like, "Oh, why would we nerf it?"
They're like,
So
whoops.
now they reverted those back to the original proposition that they originally set out. So Ardoin will be back at 70,000 XP. Those were a lot of numbers, so just it is now going to remain buffed up to 70,000 XP. In addition to this, we have reprioritized some work to fit in changes to rent energy as part of Project Rebalance. This is
Good.
actually really good
Because that's
news.
like that's the main part of agility that matters, in my opinion.
Yeah. So they say Project Rebalance is a perfect opportunity for us to fit a huge plethora of quick wins, and there's much more to come. We want to maintain momentum as we move into discussing NPC defense changes next week. Given the run energy changes will need to come out a little later in the year, we'll go over the full breakdown when we're able to provide a beta for you guys to test out. For now, here's a quick overview of these changes, and these changes, like they said, will happen later this year.
Yes.
Run energy restoration is going to be significantly more generous at lower levels, and run energy drain rate is going to get reworked to scale with agility level and also scale harder with higher weights.
Cool. I mean, sounds
Pretty
like it's
cool.
something that should have been in the game, so I like it.
Yeah, this is one of my main concerns is I was worried that they weren't going to do this because for anyone that doesn't know, Jagex looks at something and then doesn't look at it for a very long time.
You know, I saw a meme tweet by someone that I follow the other day, and it said like they were talking about the mage training arena, and they're like the best method to do content in this game is wait 10 years until they fix it eventually.
Yeah.
People did not know they were joking though, getting very mean.
Oh, it's not a joke. I mean,
It no,
just
it's like Loki.
in general, like if they've looked at agility, my fear is they wouldn't actually look at the real problem of agility for years and years and years.
Yeah,
But so that's
that's
kind
good.
of that was my main concern. So I'm glad they're doing some changes to the actual skill. So that's really cool.
At the end of the day, though, it is just running around in circles.
Yeah, that was the only additional feedback to this blog, though.
Yeah. But some of the original feedback, we'll just get into the entire agility section. So around 85% of people who voted on the survey, which I did not, to be honest, felt positively about our agility proposals, but there was clearly some room for improvement. A lot of you mentioned that you'd like to see agility's XP rates improve significantly, but to be absolutely clear, that's not what Project Rebalance is for. As we stated in the original blog, our aim is to make agility more rewarding and varied to progress through, not just faster. That means our efforts are concentrated on giving players a wider variety of entertaining and XP efficient training options. While the work we're doing here doesn't rule out more agility changes in the future, we're looking to remain conservative with changes to the top end of agility XP for the time being. Many of the best XP per hour methods in a number of skills have existed or not changed since Old School's release. We're not looking to slap a blanket of 50% XP buff on agility and call it a day as if it fixes the skill. Instead, we want to vary the existing progression and reduce the fatiguing 30 level stint at Sears Village so that we have a stronger foundation to make the skill more rewarding and then see where we're at rather than just making it quicker. I am on. I feel like that little girl in the taco commercial, remember back in the day, she's like, why can't we have both?
Yeah, kind of. I think this was a very facetious way of putting it, if that's the correct
The
word.
slapping on blanket 50% XP, that was a little sassy.
No reasonable person is asking for that. We're just asking that you not nerf certain things to make other things more viable.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it getting buffed because agility is just like a bad skill to train.
Yeah.
Howled Sepulchre's fun. I mean, just eventually I'm sure they'll add more stuff like Howled Sepulchre, but for now it's Howled Sepulchre or running in circles.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like my problem is like let's pretend that Sears is 60K. It's not,
XP
but
an hour.
yeah, let's
Okay.
pretend it is. Their solution was to make the next two things 61, 62, and 63K, which is technically better, and you'll technically go to them, but why not just make them 70, 80, and 90? Because then you're still going to go to them, but it won't feel terrible.
That's what I get too, is they don't want to buff it too much, but they're kind of buffing it too little, in my opinion.
It's still a very long grind. Like
Mhm.
70K an hour is going to be the new max at 90.
Well, other than Sepulchre, but yeah.
Other than Sepulcher, this is rooftops we're talking
Yeah.
about. So I mean, one, Sepulcher is still the best, which is crazy.
But it's just very click intensive. Like if you are just half playing, you can't really. Sepulchre's just not the best.
Yeah, and this is 70K at 90. That means you still have two more levels, and then you have another 6 million XP to go,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, 6 million divided by, let's say, 70K, bro. That's a lot of
It's
hours.
like 100 hours.
That's a lot of hours you got just
And
for
that's
this run thing that doesn't even provide a good bonus.
that's most efficiently you not falling off the roof, which happens sometimes too,
Not falling
right?
off the roof, and I mean, sure, it's fairly low effort because it's rooftops at the end of the day, but dude, that's a really long grind for pretty much no payout. At 90, there is nothing good for you to unlock.
Yeah. In a weird way, stuff like this that's low effort but still clicky, I feel like should be more rewarding than like not necessarily more rewarding than high effort, but I think it should be higher because it sucks and you're not even having fun while you're doing it and you can't AFK. Like
Yeah.
it's the worst of both worlds. But
Yeah.
anyway,
For anyone that did miss it, though, they are making it so that they're adding diaries for Polnivnich as well as Relica, so that those will also be competitive. So now, assuming you stick to rooftops, it will be 60 to Sears, 70 to Polnivnich, 80 to Relica, 90 to Ardoin. All of those are assuming you have the appropriate diaries.
yes.
Without them, Sears, or actually without them, it'll still be the same. It just won't be as noticeable.
Some other changes that they want to include with this update would be taking a look at improving the feel of Paul of Niche and Relica by making click boxes bigger, adjusting obstacles, and including longer stretches for alching items. Also, I think it's funny, I say Paul of Niche, and you say, how did you say it?
Polnivnich.
Yeah, we say it differently. Also, increasing marks of grace at both Paul of Niche and Relica, regardless of achievement diary creation. Again, the aim is to see a steady increase all the way up to Artie, where you get them pretty frequently, actually, in Artie, it feels like.
Yeah. Now you should get them a lot more.
Yeah. Which is good
Um,
because that's such a grind.
Also, I think you say it correctly. I pronounce it more like it's a Russian word.
You say it like it rhymes with the B word.
Oh, okay. Also, there are some additional changes. It's funny because they raised the point that I raised as well. They say outside of rooftops, well, there were a couple more points they wanted to address, starting with Brimhaven.
Oh, I forgot about Maven.
Our aim here is to make the arena a high effort alternative to rooftops in the 40 to 70 level bracket. And you like the sound of that, obviously. It's been raised, this is my point.
Yeah.
Giving bonus XP on themed worlds for touching a pillar actually encourages players to be less social, which it does. To clarify, this XP, okay, this is really funny though. I'm kind of confused on this,
Confused by
so
it.
let me say it out loud. To clarify, this XP is XP for the token, which makes the XP boost negligible. Although we'll be keeping an eye on this mechanic at launch to ensure it meets our aims.
XP for the token. I have no idea what that means.
I'm not sure what it means, but based on context clues, them saying that
It's negligible. It means
it's negligible means that why even add it, brother? Like, you're saying that this thing would never have mattered to begin with, so why are these themed worlds there?
I guess. Well, that's just so it's more social, you know.
I guess, but why even add this? If
I don't know.
they're all like, oh, here's an extra 100 XP.
I
Like,
think that they could honestly just add the theme worlds without doing the XP thing.
yeah, just add the themed worlds. Why do you guys have to be weird about it? And then they also have another point saying that we'll take the same approach to sub pillars as we're confident they'll provide a smoother alternative to tagging a pillar and then repeatedly climbing over the same wall for maximum gains. I think the sub pillar is a really good idea compared to the themed worlds idea.
The sub pillars, so you don't have to just like sit there waiting, right?
Yeah, so like you'll touch the main pillar and then while you're waiting, you can go get a sub pillar for additional XP.
Yeah, just less.
Yeah.
I like that more.
This I really like.
Yeah, so some shortcuts. There were concerns that removing diary requirements for some shortcuts will make achievement diaries less rewarding. Regardless, we're sticking to this change. The reward space is going to move to the skill itself, making it less dependent on other content and therefore more rewarding to train. They also picked out a handful of extra shortcuts that they want to include, and we're still on the lookout for more.
Yeah, I'm
So,
also sorry to cut you off, but I'm also a really big fan of
shortcuts.
removing diary requirements in general because I think forcing people to do content they don't like is dumb.
I think, I don't know. I mean, I like doing diary
They're
requirements.
like they're like, "Oh dude, here's this really cool game-changing diary." Yeah, go get 91 rune crafting, you dang slave. They just
Okay.
like send you off into the
The
pits.
balance. Anyway, we said most of these already, but there are slight changes, so I'm just gonna go over them all again anyway. So 66 agility, Taverley Wall shortcut next to the tree farming patch. 71, Pawn of Niche stepping stone shortcut to Narda. 72, Barrels wall jump shortcut on the west side. That's not a thing yet, is it?
No.
That's nice. I'd missed that one. 79, North Shiloh Village shortcut between the trees at the eastern corner. 81, Dagonoth King's Tunnel in the first giant rock crab room on the far wall. 82, Asgarnia Ice Dungeon shortcut from ladder into the Skeletal Wyvern area. 84, Crandor Rock climb shortcut on the south side of the island's peak. 85, Waterbirth Island rock climb south of the Lunar Spellbook Telly location, and it skips the Thronax and Pet Rock section, which you're very happy about.
Yep.
96, Vyelby Cave shortcut from the main room with the fire pentagram closer to the relevant clue step. Yeah, getting to that clue step right now is ridiculous. But
Yeah.
96 agility is
For for
A
anyone
level.
familiar with the previous shortcuts that they brought up, these are in addition to those ones.
Yeah,
So there
little
were
slight changes. Like the DK one, I think is just different.
no, these are straight up additions.
Oh yeah, because there's two DK ones now.
Yeah, now there's going to be two Shiloh ones as well.
Yeah, I like
So
these a lot.
these are really, really, really good. I can't even say how good they are because the difference between 60 and 90 agility is very not noticeable. The only reason you get to 70 is for certain shortcuts. And same thing for 80. That's really where you stop.
Yeah, this 96 agility for the clue scroll is actually like that's incentive for me to train it because right now I'm like there's no incentive other than like a max cape. I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
And then the 85 for Waterbirth is huge. The Crandor one's good for clues again. Shiloh just makes it a little bit nicer. Honestly, all of these are really
The Barrows ones
usable.
too is really nice.
Yes.
I was running a lot of Barrows during leagues, and I kind of would have wished for this.
Yeah, if you have the pants, it'll make it even better because you're going to be teleporting to there and then running over that agility shortcut every time.
That's so good, actually.
Yeah. As far as Hallowed Sepulchre, they made a couple changes to make it a little bit smoother, which is their whole point of this entire update. So for the Hallowed Sepulchre, they're allowing players to unlock an instanced version, which is really nice because there are things that you want to rely on if you are a big XP person here.
I didn't realize if you weren't the first person that the cycle is kind of out of sync.
Yeah.
It makes sense, but I never thought about it.
And you either have to like wait or go to a different world or something. So
Hmm.
now you don't have to do that if you don't want to. Also, moved some of the XP from floor 5 completion to floors 3 and 4 because pretty much it really did seem like floor 5 was where it was at. 4 kind of for the rewards, but really 5 was where
Yeah.
it was at.
I can't go to floor five yet, and I've had people tell me just don't bother going until you get to floor five.
Yep.
So I think it's fun though. So I
A lot
still
of
go.
people will say that. Obviously, if you want to mix it up, it's a good place to go. But yeah, it seems like if you can do 4, it's worth going. If you can't, it's definitely not worth going. But yeah, either way, they're evening out the XP a little bit.
Now it actually makes sense. They show level 60 through 92, and like everything scales up as it should, except for Held Sepulchre floors 1 through 4.
Yeah.
Floor 1 through
So
3 actually are pretty good.
assuming also I actually really hate that they just like are putting um they just like default the Sears Village course to the one with the diary,
The diary takes a bit to
which
get it.
isn't very easy to get right away. Like once you have Sears, you can have Sears within the first like day or two of playing and not get the diary for months.
Yeah, it's because it only requires 60 agility. That's not too big of a grind.
Yeah, so I kind of hate that they default that because it is a big XP increase. Also, if you're an Iron Man, getting all the runes for that is kind of annoying early on.
True, it's a lot of tellies.
Besides that, though, they do have it here listed as if you had all of the diaries. And it does say that now the Hallowed Sepulchre has been moved from 67,000 XP up to 71,000 XP, making it a really good option if you are in the low 70s.
That's floors 1 to 3, by the way.
Floors 1 to 3. And then floors 1 to 4 will now give you up to 81,000, so a 10,000 XP step increase over its 72 level variant.
And so Hallowed Sepulchre 1 through 5 is going to stay at 90,000 to 108,000.
That's assuming you do all the floors.
Yes, and assuming you do them well.
Yeah.
I think that they also are going. They even say that these numbers are only attainable for non-looters as well.
Non-looters, best
Loot
case.
in like level 5.
Yeah, there's no point, but this is obviously the way that they get XP.
The most you'll get.
They did want to also say that they made it so Tree Gnome Village still only requires 1 agility. I think they changed it before, but now it's still 1. Drainer Village, also 1. Shazian Basic Course now is level 1. And all these 3 courses give you 10k XP per hour, so pick whatever one you like.
That one's actually kind of cool.
That is really cool because
choice.
Before it was like 3k per hour, so this is huge. You have options.
Also, it's like so weird that you had to do the Tree Gnome Village quest to get access to agility training when Drainer was right there.
Yeah, everyone just did the quest and then went to Drainer.
Yeah.
But yeah, they also made it so the Shazian Advanced course has been lowered from 48 to 45.
Moving on to thieving. Again, these changes were all about making progression through the skill to feel smoother and more healthy. Earlier, we said that we're being conservative with the top and XP rates, so what's going on with pickpocketing? While you're all keen to reduce fail rates, you've made the great point that increasing XP drops at the same time is a step too far, which I love easy scape. That is a little too much. I agree. So as such, we're instead adding value to pickpocketing through various means. So I don't even know how to read this. This chart is a lot of
Well, one big
rows.
thing is that they removed all of the other options that are not the Paladin, Gnome, and Hero.
Yeah, they removed the Yanil Watchman and the Zarhur.
Zarhur.
Yeah, because they raised that the Tsar would have better rates than Pyramid Plunder, Piscarilla's Artifacts, and even Blackjacking, which
are much higher intensity.
Yeah, you're just staying there clicking.
Yeah, so now they made it just like Agility, where it would make sense to move on from Arty Knights if you are the appropriate level. So if you are the appropriate level, now you will get 120k from Paladins, 145k from Gnomes, and 182k from Heroes. All of those have been boosted by a lot over the previous rates.
And if you have the diaries done and 99s, the heroes could be up to 252,000 XP an hour plus rare elite clues.
Yeah, they're making it so that rare hard clues can drop from Paladins, uncommon mediums from Gnomes, and rare elites from Heroes, which before wasn't an option.
Yeah.
So this could be a really good source of money and a really good source of XP and clues. So there's really no reason to not move on from Knights, which before you could not really say.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty good.
Yeah, so the new XP rates are about on par with Knights of Arty at the same thieving level, with the added incentive of the clues, like you said, which might make players think twice about which NPC they plan to rob. Incidentally, the extra XP here is derived entirely from reduced failure rates, so these training methods should feel a lot more fun too. So you're not failing constantly over and over.
You're not just getting more XP out of Hero and still getting your head knocked over. You're going to just get hit less, so it means less food, less intensity, so it's overall better this way.
In other news, we've compiled your stall suggestions and filed them away for later. I actually liked the stall ideas, so that was a little bit of a bummer, but I don't use them. I just thought, I know stalls are supposed to be good for pets. We're not currently looking to expand our stall selection, but we think we gave them a stronger identity than low effort some resources in the future, so stay tuned. Lastly, some of you were wondering why elves and fires were missing from the list.
Because they're already really good.
They're already really good. That's the essential part of it. And then their drops wouldn't be worth as much, which people would stop going to them if you could stop failing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's already too much incentives. So instead, they are doubling down on unique ways to reduce fail rate via items and other buffs as potential for future reward space or activity design. Varlamore's thieving activity showcases just one of the ideas we've had so far, where the street urchins will distract your targets for you. We're keen to add more methods like this in the future and really improve the feel of pickpocketing.
Yeah, I think this is a much better change than the original proposal.
Yeah, the original like big numbers are nice, but it was too good. It was
Yeah.
too good.
Continuing on for Slayer, a lot of people were worried for I don't know who was actually worried about this, but apparently someone was, which is insane. But they were worried that the removal of those really annoying tasks from specifically Cheldar and Vanica would have kind of made it so only the good tasks existed, or tasks that people didn't like.
People thought that there would just be not enough variety because, okay, in their defense, on the last post, they basically were like, this is what we're getting rid of Cheldar. And they got rid of, what was it, like 15 mobs? So
Yeah.
the list looked really long. But the thing is, Cheldar used to have 51 tasks.
And
So Cheldar still has 36 tasks.
and Vanica 56.
Yeah, down to 44. So they still have a lot. They should have said how much we're going to be left because showing how much they're taking away just made it look like, oh my god, there's going to be nothing left. There's
Yeah.
just a lot of Slayer mobs.
So it's still a lot for both of them. And for anyone's information, Neve's list is at 45.
yeah.
So still a lot of trash mobs in there that you can get.
Don't worry, you'll still get trash mobs.
Yeah. Other changes include making Sour Hogs a Spria exclusive task because that's how you unlock it.
Apparently it's the most complaint about tasks for Turiel fans. I didn't think that they're that bad. I think they're quick.
Well, the thing is, they're not that quick, and
They're a higher level than like rats
Ye-
and cows.
yeah, the annoying thing is it's on Turael's task list, even though you get it from Spria, just because Spria is the same level master as Turael.
And Spria is Turiel's child.
Yeah, so that's
It runs
why
with
it was
family.
annoying because you couldn't Turael skip without having the opportunity to get Sour Hogs.
Okay, got you.
This is a huge W, and I don't know why it wasn't in the game earlier.
That's how you know it's a good quality of life change. If you could say, I don't know why this wasn't in the game earlier.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a good one.
So they made storing tasks after you unlock the task storage
Which is
feature.
100 points.
They made it free. Before it costs like 60. 30?
I think 30.
I think it's 60.
Mine's
It's 30 to
60.
skip.
Yeah.
It's 60 to store.
Yeah, it was weird. You had to pay to store it.
Yeah, which was dumb.
As a reminder, these are not in the game yet. This is just stuff that they plan on doing. Don't
Yeah.
get too excited.
So now it'll be free. You can store tasks as you please once you have it unlocked.
Which makes sense because it's so expensive to be able to unlock them.
Yeah, and speaking of skipping, now you can just simply skip without having to go through the entire dialogue box and then go to the very last page and then click on the skip option.
Oh, the
And
rewards section. Now you
yeah.
can do it via talking to them.
now you can just talk to them. I'm sure there's going to be a right-click skip option or something like that.
I don't
And
know. I'd
so-
not be scared for that to accidentally click it.
Well, I think there is a confirmation. I'm pretty sure they always do that. So,
Yeah.
anyways, you can now skip for 30 points. It'll be the third dialogue option. So you click on, Neve or click on Duradaddy and just press 3.
You know what's really funny is that they added the same thing twice, worded in different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. They said, like, added the ability to skip tasks as dialogue, and then upon receiving a task, you have a third dialogue option to choose that lets you skip. It's like they couldn't decide which way to word it.
Yeah. And lastly, they did remove grounding bolts and bug bashers as they did seem kind of dumb and no one was really excited about that.
But they're okay because it could have introduced some cool stuff in the future.
Yeah. Well, they did say specifically that people just didn't really seem excited about them, not that they were bad.
Yeah, it's kind of like how Ruinous Powers was.
Yeah.
Everyone was too mild about it.
Honestly, I didn't really see myself ever using them, so whatever.
But it was low level Slayer, so we wouldn't really anyway.
Yeah, I guess so.
Moving on to mining. 82% of you said you'd feel more positive about mining with our proposed changes, so we only have a couple of changes here. Firstly, we know that you want to see bigger changes to this unpopular skill. We still think these changes are beyond the scope of Project Rebalance and that the skill will be much improved by encouraging players to enjoy the variety of mining training methods that are already in the game. With that in mind, your feedback regarding more blast mine changes was particularly welcome. So some of the changes include increasing the blasted ore crumble or despawn timer, increasing the capacity for depositing so that players can claim more ore and ultimately see bigger XP drops, add a counter to track how much ore has been deposited, Add a reward from the Korend and Kebo's Elite Diary that improves the chances for players to receive the highest tier ore. This change will also buff XP rates in addition to the around 10% XP rates we've already proposed.
See, I like these kind of diaries where it's like a little bit
So scales not with like getting to bosses.
where it feels like a reward.
Yeah.
When instead of like, oh, like I want to do this boss, it really sucks without getting this. Like that's the same, but it just doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, like it was kind of like it felt like for the Calphite Queen, it was the meta to have to finish the diary.
Yeah, exactly.
Just having to run around is annoying. This is like it should be a bonus without feeling like you have to do this.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Like it does feel nice unlocking meta-defining things like that, or like the double lives at like Zulra or something. But
Yeah. I always forget about that and then I die and I'm like, oh nice.
yeah, in general, I just prefer the things that make it like, oh, you've mastered this. Let's make it a little bit easier for the remainder of your time here.
It makes it like you're gonna die.
Yeah, which I mean, technically the KQ one does, but it just makes it really easy for the remainder of your time here.
The thing is with the Calphite Queen that makes it so bad is that in order to even finish the diary, you have to get the Calphite Queen head, which is like a 1 out of 256 drop.
Yeah.
So you have to get that to even be able to unlock the shortcut, which is like kind of absurd.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Moving on to more diaries. The Falador hard diary task will now require the Prospector's Helm specifically rather than any piece.
This isn't all just diary, by the way. It's just miscellaneous.
No, I know. I just wanted to
Oh, okay.
segue into the Falador hard diary. And also to clarify, we expect obtaining Prospector outfit pieces via Volcanic Mine to be still slightly less efficient than Motherlode Mine.
Yeah.
And we don't want a repeat of aerial fishing. We'll look to remove some elements of the NPC interaction with our Volcano proposal being an all or nothing, all GP or all XP.
Good, because I hated that.
Yeah, so they're going to try and change that. Additionally, we'll re-examine the balance of the all... yeah, I kind of just said that. Making it so it is... But they don't want to make it a hyper-competitive training method while also offering 1.5 million GP per hour.
Yeah, but I mean, you could still do more than the 10k that is right now.
Yeah, I think they just want to... It seems like they didn't like the trade all your loot for just some XP methodology.
I didn't like the all or nothing.
Me neither. I don't think anyone really did.
Yeah. And that's almost all we've got to update you on. Strap in for an action-packed final bullet point from the miscellaneous changes. Are you ready?
Yeah, big.
I wish that they actually didn't put this at the end. It's very anticlimactic. We'll add a settings toggle for the Barbarian Potion make all functionality similar to the setting for Dart Fletching.
There you go.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. That is it for the skilling rebalance vlog.
Yeah, but the actual best part of this ending is the very last sentence. They say you can expect more from Project Rebalance in April. Next up, we're talking about NPC defense changes, including more granularity for both ranged and elemental weaknesses. We're talking about things like slash and crush, but for ranged and magic.
Oh.
What's more is we should have beta worlds ready to go as soon as the next post goes live, so you'll be able to get hands-on and feedback straight away.
Cool. I didn't read that post, actually. I saw that they were like, let us know what you think, and I stopped reading.
Yeah, most people did skip over that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anyone talk about it, so.
None of us read.
Yeah. But that is going to be it. Honestly, it's kind of,
Think about it.
I think a lot of people think I enjoy bashing on Jagex because I always do, but
You do like it a little bit,
I
I
do
think.
feel like it's because they deserve it. This time around, though, I do feel like they deserve a little bit of
A round of applause?
a little bit, maybe.
Nice.
I didn't say they did, maybe though,
If they pull it off.
because generally, I do still have a little slight against them, but generally, this whole thing did seem to be good.
Mm-mm.
This was, for the most part,
Good blog.
a pretty large W for all things involved, including mining, slayer, thieving, and agility.
Yeah.
I honestly liked all of the changes.
I need to have Witch Eileen on the podcast eventually, because I know she's like a hardcore skiller, like actually a hardcore skiller.
Yeah.
And I know last time with the blog post, she was saying like some of our opinions were interesting and stuff. I'd be curious to know hers.
Yeah. My only slight that I said I had
Hmm.
was that I understand that this is a community driven game, but it is a little too much cat and mouse here for me, being that like some of these changes felt like if you were thinking about the community and how things feel in the game, like they said multiple times, a lot of these would have been the first option in my head instead of going back and forth with the community, realizing you made a bad idea, bad decision, and then going back on your word. I think if you just put your best foot forward, then we wouldn't be here all the time.
Yeah.
But
That's something because it's so community driven is there's so much back and forth on everything. Like I'm sure everyone listening like sometimes gets annoyed because we come back after like halfway through the episode and we're like, so there's been changes.
yeah,
There was feedback.
like I guess a really good example for me is the rock and throwing axe part of water birth,
That was a good one.
because I was thinking, my initial reaction is, why is this still a thing you have to do?
To be fair, it will be depending on your level,
It's
but
skippable now. But the thing is, originally, whenever you're coming up with the idea, like, oh, it'd be cool if you could make water birth shorter. Who is thinking, oh, yeah, we should include the part that people still don't like so it's still faster but still annoying at the same time?
I think that because the community is so active, what I imagine is that they're like low key afraid to upset the community, so have to suggest like really mild stuff at first, you know? It's like it almost seems like they
Guess.
don't want to go all in on stuff initially because people get so upset.
I understand that it's more difficult to walk things back than it is to
You know,
not.
add on to it instead.
But that being said, it's just kind of like, I mean, there's certain, like, it's like the same thing with them polling everything. I'm like, some things are just like so obvious that it's like, just get to the next step
Yeah.
because that's where people want you to be.
It takes them like a long time to really do anything
Yeah.
because there's so much back and forth. But any other thoughts on that before we move on?
No, generally that's it. Pretty good
Cool.
post. That being the end of that, though, we can move on to questions Q&A from the community this week.
Yeah, just a couple. So from Harger, what would your thoughts be on prayers or spells that affect the minimap? For example, a prayer that makes someone invisible on the minimap, a spell that prevents another player from using theirs, or even a spell that shows a fake dot on the minimap where the spell is cast on the player. When it is cast on
This
the player.
this is probably one of the best ideas we've ever had.
I think it's too busted.
I think this is probably one of the best suggestions we've ever got.
Is this a good PvP update? To
Yeah,
make it so people can't see you on the minimap? That's terrifying.
I think that'd be really cool.
Oh my god, really?
Cause like, I mean, how many people are just like,
I used to look for that red dot,
they're
man.
like, oh, red dot log out.
Maybe, okay, maybe if it also like showed something in your chat being like, oh, you feel like mysteriously you can't see something. Like
Sure.
some notifier. Because,
No,
no?
I think like it could be proximity based.
Okay.
Like if you're a red dot and you're at whatever,
So if
Venanatis,
you get within five
or
tiles, it'll show you.
maybe you're like right outside the door to Venanatis, you're about to go in, you don't want to see people tell people that you're there, so you're invisible. But then someone walks up, they're within 10 tiles, you show up on the map.
That'd be such a jump scare to be in the wilderness and be like, oh my god.
You could still see people, so you
Yeah.
could still see them,
But
but on the
some
map.
people do just look at the minimap. I honestly just kind of look at the minimap.
And I think it would be, the other ones could be cool because then it's all like, oh, if you're a PK or an anti PK and you see 4 red dots, even though it's just one person using the spell,
A fake dot is kind of
then
terrifying.
it's like, oh, maybe I should get out of here. Four in multi is pretty much a death sentence,
It's just one person.
but it's just one person with the spell on.
It would be funny, but I think it would scare me.
I think if you added that with a fairly high,
Level. It has to be really high level.
well, not just a high level, but a fairly high cost, because you don't want to be able to do that forever.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, I don't know, like one prayer every like 2 ticks or something, like 2 prayers every 4 ticks. That's a lot of prayer. Maybe even more than that, like 1 prayer per tick, because then that would be like, oh, I want to use this for a few seconds to get the advantage and then, utilize that.
Yeah, but you can't just be like a full on ghost going throughout the wilderness.
Yeah, maybe it would be even higher than that, like, just a lot. So that's like, all right, I'm going to use this, but I properly brought 4 like prayer potions so I could use it for a long time.
I would say just use it as fast as like Rigor is. Maybe a little bit faster than regular.
I think a lot faster than rigor.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that one's spicy.
Yeah, I think that would be cool. I mean, I don't PK, but the idea of it would be cool because they
Yeah.
had stuff like that in Black Desert, and I thought that was cool.
You could like
It was
hide.
it was a little pay to win, you could argue, because it was an outfit you could buy on the store, and it was a
Wow.
camouflage outfit. It didn't make you invisible by any means. It was a little bit harder to see you, but it what it did was it hid your red name.
Oh.
So people could dash up to you and their name would never show. And then they could just immediately start PKing you. And I mean, usually you could see someone with a red name from far away. You're like, oh, they're going to fight me.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of interesting. But I mean, generally, if someone was rushing up to you with one of those, you could be like, oh, they're going to PK. So it
But you're
wasn't
not
like.
paying attention.
It wasn't like a full on, like, pay to win type of thing, but
Yeah.
it would kind of be like in this situation where it could give you a little bit of a head start on someone.
You convinced me a little bit. I'm not totally opposed to it. But I am nervous because I know I'd get PK'd more.
Yeah, it doesn't feel too strong to me either way.
Mhm.
Because like if you're invisible and then, I mean, you're still visible, your red dot isn't there, and then it is there if you're close enough. It's like if you're that close, you probably see them anyways.
That's
So
true.
if you're paying attention, you're still fine.
I'm just saying this as someone who will go into the wilderness while streaming and not be paying attention.
Yeah, but I mean, you could go in there and be invisible, and then it could be an easier time for you. For
That's
people that
true.
just like are world hopping over and over again.
Yeah, clues might be easier.
And it would be incentivizing you to like be in a different spot than like the main area.
You have to
Which,
go on like the outskirts.
yeah,
So
I
they
don't,
don't
I
actually
don't
see
know if that
you.
would be good or bad, or maybe people expect to be on the outskirts, so they would, be over there.
That could be interesting, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good idea.
And then from Matt on Discord, is it just me or does the scenery in the newer areas change way too quickly? The original OSRS map had a lot of grassland, mountains in one section, jungle in one, desert in one, etc. But the new areas have everything crammed into one tiny area and it feels a bit overwhelming. So I guess my question is, should Jagex implement more open land when adding new areas so it feels more spread out and less crammed? I agree that it can feel cramped because you're kind of going like from Ice Mountain to this to that and just like everything close, like Varlamore especially.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I think I would complain more if there was open space that wasn't being used. So it doesn't make the most sense really, but I'm okay with it because I don't want more open space. Because it would just kind of be like how the desert is now, where I think that the desert just has so much nothing. So much nothing. But yeah, I like it. I like it how it is, I think.
I agree with Matthew in some regards.
Okay.
I've always felt this way for Zaya
Yeah.
because you go from like, the hominess of Hosidius, and then you're like, now I'm in a fish town.
Now there's alien things.
Now I'm in a magic area
And
that's
Taze was the most
only
confusing area to
purple.
go.
And then you're like, all right, I'm in a magic area. Now I'm in.
Winter John.
I mean, that's weird. But I was going to say, you're like in a magic area. Now you're in
Regular
what
Kingdom.
feels like Zamarok's war camp.
Oh yeah, Shazian.
Like, what?
And then the lava one. There's a
Weird.
lot.
Weird.
It is weird.
I think it'd be cooler if it was like, how exactly how you're saying. So like, Varrock or not Varrock, Lumbridge goes from like, a quiet farm town into like maybe a slightly more leveled up medieval town being Varrock into like an even more adventurous town of Falador having access to, the mountains in the north and more farmland to the south, which is a port, which kind of feels normal. And then like all of that feels like it flows really well. Where
It is kind of weird.
I haven't been to the new area, but I felt that way always about Corinne.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can see where you're coming from. It's definitely weird, and I wish it was a more even transition.
Yeah, but
Not that the areas were bigger, but just that the transitions were more gradual.
smoother.
Yeah, not just we're all red, now we're all purple, now we're all
Yeah,
blue.
it's
It's
a
like,
moment like that.
what is happening here, dude?
They could do it without adding more empty space. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, that's what my main thing is. I don't think you need to add more space. You just need to have a theme to an area.
Yeah, without
And
it being like here's the hard cutoff between these two areas, like
yeah,
kind of blend.
yeah, it
Yes.
just doesn't it throws me off being in those areas going like, all right, I need to go. I'm like I spawn in, Corinne Castle, then I'm like, which color do I want to go to?
Hmm.
Because that's what it feels like.
That is what it's like.
But yeah, so I agree. I don't know about the new area, but if it's anything like that, then yeah,
I'll show you later. There's
I
a few different sections.
yeah, I feel like it's cooler when it's just like when it flows and makes sense.
Okay. I think Varlamore does flow better, to be fair, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Savannah area is pretty big, too.
Like that's honestly, I think one of the most hardest hitting memorable parts of World of Warcraft is how well the beginner zones are done.
Yeah.
Because like you go from the beginner zone for humans, which is like, Elwyn Forest, a really nice, forest with some, boars and stuff like that, not too big a
Cute.
deal. And then you go into like the slightly more arid like farmland area where there's slightly worse mobs, some like mine kobold guys, some devious guys, and then you go into the dark forest, bro. Like you go into like a super scary forest, and that's when it gets serious. Like it makes sense. The progression makes
Yeah.
sense.
You have to be more gradual.
Whereas like you could split Corinne into four different sections of four different islands and it would feel better, which
That's fair.
which is weird.
Corinne feels weird. I don't I don't mind it because I'm used to it, but in the future, they could take notes.
Yeah.
That's it for our questions this week. Yeah, I could have probably pulled up one of race, but I didn't think about it till right now. So
Oh well, maybe next week.
next week.
That's gonna be it. So hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, you can check us out on any of our socials.
Yeah, our Twitter and TikTok are Bunebapeosrs. Our Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch are Bunebape. I stream 5 days a week at twitch.tv/Bunebape. And as a reminder, Fridays, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard, I am doing fundraising streams and I do cosplays and we do boss competitions. So come stop by for those.
Yeah, so that's gonna be about it from us. Thanks again for watching. Hopefully you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you all.
Very soon.
Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.